Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody.
Happy 4th.
Yeah, you'll notice that I'm wearing my U.S. National Parks Adventure is Calling t-shirt, courtesy of Fran and Tom Curley. Thank you, I love this thing.
And I'm wearing my I Play Tennis to Burn Off the Crazy t-shirt, which is just fact.
So we were thinking about what really says the 4th of July. And of course, certain things come up like apple pie, baseball, the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yeah, America.
Yeah, well, but also other things too. It's we have Wimbledon on in the other room on the television. Dennis has been watching
the Tour de France.
Right. Yeah.
We're standing in the Shire.
Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien. But other things come to mind when you think of America and our independence. Naturally, you think of the founding fathers, the essential documents, capsicum, things like that.
Betsy Ross. So we decided that we really wanted to honor and celebrate and then even taste what freedom is like. And so we are making an Italian Easter rice pie. Very, very traditional.
Very traditional. And we're going to be using some arborio rice that we found at our local grocery store.
Jim found it.
I found it actually, but I was trying to be inclusive. And that's all right. And so we are actually boiling the rice now. It's simmering. What's it called? Steeping?
It's steaming now.
Steaming.
It has boiled, simmered, now it's steaming, and then we have to let it achieve room temperature before we move on.
Right, so we started a little bit before we got on here. However, we're going to lead you through our new pie crust, which that's exciting. It hasn't happened for a while.
Very exciting.
And we're also going to be having a special guest taste tester, unless she backs out. So,
she won't back out.
No. Well,
she's totally into it.
Just all contingencies.
Stay tuned, America.
All right. Well, we'll see you soon in the kitchen, and you'll get to see how we make our Italian Easter rice pie for the 4th of July.
Happy 4th, everyone.
Happy 4th.
So, Jim, what is this new crust of which you speak?
Thanks for asking.
Sure.
We're going to be making a graham cracker crust. I know.
I love those.
Yeah, and most of the recipes for the Easter Italian rice pie or the Italian rice Easter pie, they call for an actual crust. But we thought we'd try something new because, again, it's the 4th of July weekend and we're going to assert our independence over the tyranny of the cookbook. So, Dennis, how are we going to do this?
So, we have carefully determined the amount of graham crackers we need. It's surprisingly exactly what's in this little baggie. We are going to put these into this larger baggie. Let's just do that. Why should I? Show, don't speak.
Well, I think you can show and speak.
Show and speak, okay.
And tell.
And tell, that's the word. Okay, so Jim is going to seal it up, not too much air in there. And then for safety's sake, we're going to cover it with this, and then we're going to use a hammer and bash the crap out of these. So I'll show you that in just a second.
Okay. Oh, that's the rice.
The rice is done, what's it doing right now? Steaming.
Steaming.
Here, I'm going to make that stop. The rice is done steaming, so now it just has to cool to room temperature. This is awesome. Our timing is great. Ready?
Ready. All right, so you'll notice that we have the graham crackers, the dish towel, and the hammer. All right, and again, I'm just going to use some of my, my inverted rage and start to make the pie crust. Here we go. It wouldn't be fair if Dennis didn't get a chance to do this. So, Dennis, why don't you stop here, and then I'll hand it to you and I'll film you.
Should we see if Omelet wants to be a part of it? No. I'm going to try a side technique. I can see why he enjoys this.
You'll notice how we approached this differently, that Dennis had a lot of short, very precise, efficient strokes of the hammer, whereas mine seemed to be kind of, uncontrolled and less effective. And I think that in many ways, working in the kitchen is a projective test. It says so much about you that you would prefer to keep concealed from other people. Let's get on with this.
So for this graham cracker crust, we need a little bit of melted butter, 4 tablespoons to be exact. So we're going to melt it in this lovely ramekin, in this lovely microwave. Fingers are buttery. So Jim, what are we doing now?
Well, we are whisking the crushed graham cracker into half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, we're using the whisk from Melinda Hughes. Melinda also sent Dennis and me a compelling article from the Washington Post about whether Americans have forgotten to make pies, and apparently, it could be argued that we have, but we're going to show that that isn't true today. Also, that most pies used to be savory pies until fairly recently. This, I think it's going to be a fairly sweet pie. There's a lot of lemon zest or lemon juice in it. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to whisk. This is satisfying in a totally different way from hammering the graham crackers.
Beautiful. And then we just, I believe, add, oh, look at my shadow. Look at me. I'm a shadow. And then we just add the melted butter. We mix it together, right?
From the ramekin.
From the ramekin.
Yeah.
And then we press it into the pie dish. I always want to call it a pie tin, but I keep trying to correct myself. It's a pie dish.
All right, so shall we pour the butter in?
Let's stir the butter in. Here we go.
Okay, get ready.
I'm ready. And let's use, let's say a wooden spoon for this. All right, here you go. Wooden spoon. Wooden spoons on the water, very free and easy. Can anyone name that tune?
It's wooden ships.
Oh, yes.
And you'll notice that it remains fairly dry. Normally that would send a baker into a panic perhaps, but we've been reassured by the people on the internet that that's nothing to be afraid of.
And I will also say that my mom and I used to make graham cracker crust all the time, and it is pretty dry. And you put in the melted butter and it gets a little bit clumpy, and then you just put it into the pie tin, and the act of pressing, oh, that smells good. The act of pressing it down creates the firmness that you need.
All right, let's do this thing.
So, the act of pressing the graham crackers into the pie tin, it's very, it is dry and crumbly, but that is the way it works. And I will say the most annoying part is this, the fact that my counters are uneven and it just makes that irritating noise. So I don't want to make you put up with too much of that.
So we're going to make the filling, and thought we'd just kind of lead you through that. So we have the sugar, a certain amount that I can't recall. We have the ricotta cheese. We have the eggs on top of Lori Miller's wonderful, wonderful spoon. We have the rice, and we have a whole bunch, 1 pint of half and half. And Dennis, you want to lead us through the spices?
I sure will. We have some vanilla extract from the vanilla tree. We have some fresh squeezed lemon juice from my backyard. And we thought for the dashes of cinnamon, we were going to go with actually Penzeys Vietnamese cinnamon, which is my favorite cinnamon of all time.
Now, Dennis usually gives me a clinic on how to use appliances. By the way, Mary Beth, I love these aprons. So here we go.
Yep, you just stick it in there first and then turn it on.
Okay, so that's the order. Right,
yes.
Here we go, and then.
So Jim, what have we done so far?
Well, we used the mixer. We put in the half and half. We put in the 4 eggs. We put in all the spices, the ricotta cheese, obviously.
And the sugar, yeah.
And the sugar, of course. And so now what we're going to do, again, using Lori Miller's amazing utensil, is we're going to stir in the arborio rice.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go. It's very sticky.
Yes, I remember reading up on it, and they did say it would be sort of a sticky feel to it, which is probably why the Italians use it to make risotto. Which, by the way, since we bought giant bags of this, we're going to be making risotto soon, aren't we? Can I ask a question, Jim, or should I just let that go?
I just let it go.
Okay.
All right.
So you're stirring in the rice.
I am.
think just to sort of what? Make it
It's
dispersed evenly throughout the liquid?
yeah, it's the filling. It's very soupy.
Is it? Interesting. Well, it did say that the rice would settle to the bottom and leave yet another custardy layer on top. What?
Like Mrs. Hughes's cornbread.
Like Mrs. Hughes's cornbread. This is fantastic.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie. Hey, Melinda.
Hey, Mo. Hey, Beth.
All right. So if you feel it's well mixed.
I feel it is. I don't know that it is, but we've talked about this in previous videos that, I think that I'm much more intuitive than successful at baking.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, then let's, I'm going to cut away while we pour into the pie shell, just in case anything untoward happens.
Untoward.
And we'll be right back. To be honest, the real reason I said we were going to cut away is that the oven wasn't preheated yet. And I thought if we pour this in, it's just going to soak the graham cracker crust and that'll be a disaster. So here we go. Rice pie mixture, graham cracker crust, addition of one to the other. Okay. Look at that, the graham crackers. Oh, this is great. This is perfect. The rice is going to soak to the bottom, I am told. I'm just going to distribute a little bit of the rice more evenly as it has glopped together in the middle. I believe we're supposed to put a dash of cinnamon across the top, but maybe, let's see, is that at the end? I don't know. Lightly dash of cinnamon on the top. There we go. Ready? Oh, yes. Nice. Beautiful. And now, into the oven it goes. Stand back, everyone. We're using Lisa Helke's ceramic tiles as well. Oh, so liquidy.
This is kind of reminiscent of the buttermilk pie that we made.
And I believe, let's stop that. Holy cow. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes because I believe it says after 10 minutes, lower the temperature to 350 degrees, do an additional 50 minutes. It may be a little jiggly, but it will set up when cool. Oh my gosh. And I think, Jim, I'm going to flip around to you in a second because we might have a special guest taste tester.
It's a surprise.
It is done. It is cooked. It is out of the oven. It is cooling, and take a look at that. Ooh.
That looks good.
Yeah, can't wait for the tasting.
So we mentioned earlier that we have a special guest taster.
Yay!
It's the unbeatable, unbelievable,
The one and only
Lauren Anderson.
Yay!
Hi! I am so stoked to be on the pie tester. I'm such a fan of your pies.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
I'm always shocked at how discerning all of your friends are
Well,
about the taste
They
testing.
have comments, right?
Yeah.
They have comments.
and we expect the same from you, of course.
I will do my best, but I have to be honest. Pie is pie. I'm a fan.
Well, this brings up two things.
Okay.
First of all, you produce and star in a show called Noodle Pie Island.
I do. Thank you for asking. Thank you for talking about it. So last year, Delico Arts did this thing called the Home Invasion, and they asked me to produce a children's show for them. And so we did 15 episodes of live, interactive children's show, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So we're gonna go into a
Yay.
season 2. It's no longer through Delico Arts, but the people at Delico are still heavily involved.
Nice.
Acting and participating and all that good stuff. But now me and my partner Joe Dressel are doing it. So we're gonna have our own website and our own YouTube channel. And so all you need to do to interact with Noodle Pie Island is to find Noodle Pie Island on YouTube and make sure to subscribe and follow us.
Yay.
And then if you forget, we're also on Instagram. Follow our Instagram page for all the updates and all that good stuff. You guys are both followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are like, yeah,
For
that
sure,
was awesome.
for sure on Instagram.
That was
Not
awesome.
YouTube yet, though.
Why, yes.
Yes, of course we are. What are you even talking about? And then soon we're gonna have merch too, and the merch is
Ooh,
cool.
nice.
Right.
Yeah, the merch is like I want to say it's definitely like it's some of our more popular characters. Like Banana Randy has his own shirt,
Nice.
and Nicky the Noodle has his own shirt. And Nicky the Noodle's magic phrase is, "Yo, Nicky, what's the deal?" So on the shirt it says, "Yo, Nicky, what's the deal?"
Awesome.
Yeah, because I was like, what do I want a bunch of little kids to like potentially say around the house to their parents and stuff? So I just like the idea of a bunch of little kids being like, "Yo, Mom, what's the deal?" You know what I mean?
That's
You know what I
perfect.
mean?
It's perfect.
When they're like hopefully playing Noodle Pie Island later on. So
You guys will soon be like a subset of Animaniacs. You're gonna get so big.
I was such a fan of Animaniacs, and I am such a fan of Animaniacs. Like that would be the ultimate dream. I would love that. I would love it.
Sweet.
So thank you for letting me talk about
Of
it.
course. And for those of you who are my age and from Southern California, think of Sheriff John.
Yeah.
But even much weirder, although Sheriff John was weird unintentionally, but yay. All right. The other thing that we want to say before this, I'll say this. Lauren, I've known you since 2004, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
We overlapped at the Brave New
Yeah,
Workshop.
my very first show was with Jim Robinson, and then my very first season, I think you were in every show. My first season.
Wow, it was
Yeah,
it was
this guy.
unreal.
Yeah.
And during
I
that
remember
time,
going to a photo shoot. I'm gonna tell a little story. I went to a photo shoot, and Jim was like, "I just started dating this new guy." And it was
Oh, no.
yeah.
That was
And he's
right.
like, he's really great, and I'm really into him, but I don't want to be like too much too soon. So
Aww.
and look what happened.
and look what happened. Here we
Rice
are,
pie.
all these years later, eating pie together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, when I first met you, I don't even know how this came about because we spent a lot of time together just sitting around
Yes.
backstage and everything.
Yeah.
And I told Lauren about a dream that I had.
No, this was years later.
Was this later?
This was at La Hamadou.
Okay.
We did
my
a
God,
summer
that's
stock
right.
in like 2015.
All three of us.
Wow, that was that
Mhm.
recently.
That was
Wow.
that.
All
That
right.
was when you told me the story.
Well, in probably 1994 or 5, I had this very vivid dream where a dachshund visited me, and he walked up to me and he spoke, and it was a dream, so of course I accepted it. He said, "My name is Mr. Waterlemon, and it says right here, everything's going to be okay." And I told you about this,
Yeah.
and then Lauren,
Look.
she
at
painted this
this.
herself, and it could be the best gift I've ever received.
Oh,
It
that's
was
awesome.
It's
amazing.
Mr. Waterland.
Mr.
So
Waterlemon.
beautiful.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you told me if he was in a top hat, but I was like, if there was a talking dachshund that talked to me, he would definitely be in a top hat.
Yeah,
For
well,
sure.
that makes sense. So
Yeah.
anyway, this is context for what brings you here to try our.
Yes.
Is it Easter rice pie or?
Yes, and I'll just happily throw in the fact that the last time we saw Lauren in person was at the beginning. It was early COVID,
Mhm.
and she had painted this at home and brought it to us. And we stood on one side of the fence, and she stood on the other side of the fence, and we were masked. And she handed us this, and there was no hugging or anything, but it was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
So we're happy to have
And
you
it
back.
lives right over there. By
It's
the
over there on the wall. Yeah.
I'm so happy you guys love it. Like I was painting. All of Noodle Pie Island is my own art direction. So all of the sets are painted by me, and like all the costumes and stuff like that. So it's all that aesthetic, if you're wondering.
I love it.
Well,
And I
Yeah.
I was like into painting, and I remember when you told me about that story, you were like, oh, that dream. I remember waking up and feeling like very comforted and like very like calm
Yeah.
by it. And so I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Waterlemon for myself, because it was early days pandemic. It was like,
Mhm.
was it March?
It was winter.
April?
It was
It was
cold.
there
like-
was snow on the ground.
There was
Oh,
still
yeah.
snow on the ground. Yeah. So, yeah. So there we go.
It's
I
the
love
best
it.
time. I love it. I love it.
It's been
So Lauren, now the way this works is
Yeah.
you're gonna taste it, and then you'll say quite honestly what you think of it, and then we'll take turns, and then
yeah.
that'll be it.
And I will just demonstrate. I'll show here a little bit for the camera. You see, as predicted, a custardy layer on top, and the rice is floated to the bottom, and this is the graham cracker crust right here. So check that out.
Okay, so before I take a bite, do we want my opinions on how
Yes,
it looks?
please.
Oh please, yeah.
Okay, so I think how it looks like a savory pie
Oh,
from the
interesting.
looks,
Like a quiche.
or like a
Yep,
quiche.
yep.
Yeah, it looks like the top looks like cheesy almost, or like melted cheese,
Yep.
and the bottom looks like it could be like a potato and egg kind of thing that you would have at a breakfast. But the smell is like a delicious, like kind of like tapioca, like cinnamon vibes.
Interesting.
I love it. Here, I'm going to give the home audience
Yeah,
a little
really
bit
give them a look.
of a
It's
close-up
beautiful.
view there.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really quite beautiful, and it cut perfectly.
Well,
Don't like pie like at the state fair and stuff. Don't they like check on how well it cuts?
I think so.
So that's a sharp cut.
And we want to
Now
thank
that's a sharp cut.
we want to thank Julie Hughes for the
Oh, yeah, for the cake slice.
cake slice.
Oh, Julie, way to go! All right, here we go.
All right. I'm nervous.
Okay.
I am nervous too.
I love. Oh, it goes through
Yeah.
really well. The
Yeah.
fork went through really well.
Graham
Yeah.
cracker crust. Yeah.
Mmm. Mmm.
She's thinking. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Here's what's going on. It's a really tasty pie, but it's really dense. There's a lot to it.
Interesting.
I thought it was gonna be like a little lighter,
Yeah.
but it's really like, it's almost like a strudel
Ah.
in how it tastes.
Interesting.
Okay.
So get in
All
there,
right, let's
You
find
gotta-
out. All right.
but the mouthfeel is great. It's got
Mhm.
good mouthfeel. Do you
Oh,
see where
yeah.
I'm going with that? Like it's way,
Oh yeah, it is really denser than I thought.
it's way denser than I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be, but in a
Yeah,
good
the
way because
flavor's
it's
good.
it tastes kind of like tapioca,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of how I thought it was gonna taste.
All right, here goes.
Because rice desserts tend to taste that way.
Yep.
The cinnamon is great.
The cinnamon is great.
What do we think?
It's kind of gummy.
It's not gummy. It's not gummy.
It's thicker, but and I can see why they say serve room temperature or chilled. I could see like tomorrow, this will be the perfect temperature if we put it in the fridge.
I will say this: the graham cracker crust turned out well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Graham cracker crust is damn near perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and it's really good because it's not too sweet.
Yep.
You know, sometimes like I would say I'm kind of like a fruit pie fan first, and then all the other pies.
Mm-hmm.
Save key lime because key lime's so tart. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like this is like in the wheelhouse of like a pecan pie or like a pumpkin pie where it's like a denser pie.
Mm-hmm.
But those I think sometimes can be so sweet. And this one is not at all.
No, it's actually quite good.
Yeah,
It's really good.
It's a different texture than I expected, but boy, it's good.
I would call it evocative.
Ooh.
Jim. Wow.
I mean, legit, this is like a pretty, I feel like it's kind of a hearty dessert.
Mm-hmm.
Like this would be good in the winter time.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, you know, speaking of breakfast though, did you guys ever eat pie for breakfast?
I haven't, but I just might tomorrow.
So I have some fantastic. Jim and I both teach improv to seniors
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and some of those seniors will come to class and they're like, "I had pie for breakfast," because they're a wild bunch, and I'm a huge fan of all of them. And I was like, pie for breakfast, but then I had some leftover like apple pie, and I was like, lo and behold, greatest thing, cold apple pie for
Mhm.
breakfast. I feel like this, like a cold, like good morning.
breakfast
This
pie.
is like a good breakfast pie.
Tomorrow morning, that's what
Well,
we're
it will
doing.
see you through the day because it's dense.
It is
and
dense.
Party.
It's
Mhm.
packed with all sorts of expectation.
Mhm.
I love the cheese in it though.
Yeah, the
ricotta
ricotta
cheese
cheese
is
turned out
really-
well.
yeah,
The ricotta cheese is perfect.
And we've had a little bit of an issue with over sweetening our
Mm-hmm.
Our
That's
desserts.
true. That has happened.
I think we have
No, this is just right.
tipped the scales in the right direction as far as
This
that's
look at me. I'm going to town on this.
All right.
Like, this is like what you want. This is the right sweetness profile.
Mhm.
If that's a thing.
concerned. I think so.
Well, as Jim said, we did it to honor America because nothing says America like baseball and mom and Italian rice pie.
And Easter Italian.
Easter Italian rice pie. The Easter goes in there in one of those words.
One of those,
So
yeah.
this is typically an Easter dish.
Apparently.
Apparently in Italy it is.
Wow.
Who knew? Well,
Well,
anyway,
I love it. I love it.
We're so grateful to everyone who had a part in this. especially Lauren Anderson, our
Yes.
guest
Wow.
taste tester.
I know.
Thanks for letting me be
Woo!
here.
Yeah, of
This
course.
is awesome.
Well, happy 4th, everybody.
Happy 4th!
Happy 4th.
And check out Noodle Pie Island.
Noodle Pie Island.
It is fantastic.
We'll put it right here on the screen.
We will.
Follow us on Instagram for all of the details.
All right.
Yay.
Bye.